In studio, Joe Marino.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
So you're against taxes, huh?
Yes, I am against taxes. That really, actually, though, wasn't even the reason that I voted.
You voted
against.
no on. Yeah, so people understand.
Sure.
Those that don't, I'm sure everybody does.
Oh, sorry. Keep moving my mic around. Yes,
it's such an awesome sound, though. That we should isolate that and use that when we want to do some construction commercial. Sounds like there's something. Yeah, it sounds like this crane is moving or something. So the mayor is proposing almost an 8% tax increase.
Correct.
And do you think it's going to happen?
I don't, and I hope not, and that's why I voted against raising the cap, because I have confidence in myself that I don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, what we did as a council, and I disagreed.
What was the final vote, by the way?
It was 7-2.
7-2. Okay.
Yeah, you needed 6. It passed 7-2 to allow for taxes to go above the state mandated cap. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a guarantee, but it does mean.
Well, your vote means nothing then.
No, well, my vote means that I have confidence in myself, and I have confidence in the community that I can get taxes below that rate and not have to use a safety net, as everyone keeps calling. So I want the people that I represent to know. And as I have every year, I'm confident in myself in lowering the taxes. Look, the mayor's put together about almost 50% in tax increases in his tenure, and we've gotten it down to about 20. So, I mean, the council has done their job. My point at the time was, number one, we don't need this vote until March 8th. Number two, let's, because of that fact, because we've always had, access to cutting the budget, done it well, kept services, we've even increased infrastructure services, we've increased things like police and fire apparatus, things like that, and still cut the taxes, have a little confidence in our process.
Who else
and
voted,
it's not over.
Who else voted against it?
It was Samantha Klossman.
Okay. Well, what do you say, because I've already heard it, people saying, well, listen, and you just need a majority vote, or you need a supermajority?
You need a supermajority, by the way the state legislature passed this,
Okay, but you received a supermajority, but with 7-2 supermajority.
Correct,
So your vote is going to ultimately be meaningless because it did pass. However, what do you say to people who say, listen, you want to run for mayor, you just want to be on record against going above the tax cap? How do you respond to people?
Well, I could point to my record, right? I mean, I've never voted to raise the cap. I think that it's in place for a reason. I think people are overtaxed. So anything and anyone that comes to me, look, they've been saying to me that I'm, a challenger of Palmieri for 6 years. I have no interest in running against anybody until an election year, and even then, it's only a few months deep. So, I've always done what I felt was right, and I genuinely believe that, the people that I represent are an aging population. Upper East Utica has a lot of older population, a lot of older Italian people. Thank goodness we got a good influx of immigrant population with the Bosnians and Burmese that are coming in. But right now, most of the people that I represent are on Social Security. It's an average age of about 63 years old. So I got a lot of Social Security recipients, and if they're not getting a 7.8% increase in their Social Security tax, how dare I go in there and represent them? Because, I heard it today. The word is representative. I don't act as myself inside that chambers. I act as the 12,000 people that I represent.
This is a big number to lower.
It is. It is a big number. I mean, it would monetarily, it would mean around cutting $1.5 million out to get below that 2%. But I've seen some things, and again, we haven't gone through the whole process. So what was the hurry to even increase it now? I mean, we didn't have to do it last meeting.
Right.
It just wasn't necessary.
Wouldn't you wait to do it? Wouldn't you wait to do it when you find out where you end up?
Yeah, well, what I would do and what I told them...
It'd be easier to do it if you were, the tax... What is the number, by the way?
7.9 or 2%. 2% is the cap.
The cap is 2%?
It's close, because we always have that fluctuation in our formula. It is around 1.9%.
About 1.9%. So wouldn't you wait to see, because it would be a lot easier to come back and say, all right, where the mayor was talking 7.8% or 7.9% tax increase, we got it down to 3.5%. We're going to have to raise the tax cap. Wouldn't it be better to do it then?
Yeah, I don't know if we had that amount of time. So, we do have a cutoff date, and March 8th is our cutoff date this year.
Time is ticking.
Time is ticking, but the fact is, wouldn't it be better to wait until all our budget hearings are done? I chair the Finance Committee, and we're going in and talking to all the departments. We haven't talked to police. We haven't talked to fire. We don't know what actually we can cut yet, so that's why I said, look, let's give it some time. We've only been through 2 days of finance meetings. We've got about 5 more to go. Let's get in there and get all the information before we make a decision like this, because it is a big one.
Downtown Hospital. The known Downtown Hospital group, the story that came out of the OD today, the Brett Truitt and Jim Brock meeting with the editorial board, they've come up with a plan. The plan is to basically buy up property and force the municipality, whichever municipality handles eminent domain, force them to go into court and go into eminent domain. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's it's unfortunate. I mean, look, everyone said that area was prime for revitalization for 30 years. I mean, I didn't see anyone really jumping at each other to buy that property earlier. Yeah. And to make the municipality spend more money than they'd have to. You see, the process is this, and I've been very vocal about the way that the hospital and government has been laying this out there. It wasn't really great. The rollout was awful. I've been really vocal about that, and I've been vocal privately and publicly. And privately, they've actually taken a lot of steps to increase that. I mean, they've done everything that they could at this point to answer to what the public's complaints were. At this point, I know the public wants every answer right now. The fact is we don't have them. So the hospital has done a great job. Now, this other group, which is a group of private citizens, they have the right to do whatever they want. But the fact is,
you're talking about No Hospital?
Yeah, the No Downtown Hospital group has really taken a stance of more of posturing than it has of cooperation and just getting to the bottom of things. Look, if you want answers, and that's your goal is to want answers and to find a better solution if you think that there is one, I don't know that this kind of combative nature is really the best.
You take some of these. First of all, you cannot deny the fact, and they're going to say to you, look at the organic investment that is going on right now. That is private investment downtown that's going on right now. The problem that you can't leave out is that many of this investment, many of these dollars invested in here are because of the hospital coming downtown.
I hear it all the time.
You can't deny that.
I hear it all the time.
And so yes, there is a transformation going on. But if it wasn't for the hospital going downtown and the Odd Project and the Nexus, all of these things happening, you wouldn't see the progress. On the other hand, you take a business that really doesn't want to move. They're going to sell. They're going to relocate. Not something they want to do, but they're going to move forward. Some want to get out, but then you get a Wilcor that really has a very tough position. So if they end up having to move, and I was speaking with one of the owners just recently, it is going to be a very expensive endeavor and really hard for them to pick up and move. Don't you feel that some businesses deserve more help than others based on their need when it comes to moving?
I really do.
Can you as a councilman step in as well to say, we really need to help? And I know that that's a decision that's already been made, that there'll be money. There's a group out there that's going to begin to help them move forward. But couldn't more be done for somebody with higher need?
Yeah, look, the council has access to a lot of tools in its toolbox to say any kind of pilot programs that could be available. Because look, I was never in favor of just handing out pilots just to entice a business into the city. Because we've had the Odd, because we've had Nano Talks, we don't need to. Before in the past, sure, you got to give away the store to get people in here because we really weren't in good shape. Now we are. But places like this, like Wilcor, and places that want to stay in Utica, I mean, for us to shun them and to say, look, you're just like everybody else. You're going to have to go. I think that's reprehensible. So no way.
You might see them move to Herkimer County.
Sure, and that's not a good. Yeah, that's not a good proposition.
You might see them move out of state. So wouldn't it be the positive thing to take a business like this and give it the special attention that they haven't gotten? And not to say that the other business owners along there shouldn't be paid attention to. They should, but based on the needs, just what this company does and what they'll need to move, I'm not sure that a basic plan is going to work for them.
Yeah, I agree. Just splitting up $1 million that this group is formed. I mean, just splitting it up equally is not really the right thing to do. I'm really hopeful, and we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks, that people get together and really take a look and have a committee and sit down with these owners and say, what are your needs, and then kind of separate the money on a pro rata basis as opposed to just lopping $40,000 because there's 30 businesses.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, did I hear that 40 was a federal cap? That 40 was
I don't know.
Was the most?
I didn't hear that. I don't know. It could be. I'm not saying it's not.
Okay.
But I do know that I do agree with the premise that not everyone deserves exactly the same amount of money.
There are people that are against this, like Jim Brock and Brett Truitt. I don't They don't have businesses that are within the footprint. Brett will soon yet. But then there are other businesses. Like I know one business owner that says, I'm against it because it's going to raise the rent on my business. So this person's business is not in the footprint, but it is outside, and it's going to mean the rent is going to go up. And
because
ultimately,
the land is more desirable?
Because the land is more desirable.
Sure.
I can look at that person and say, that's a justifiable...
Fair enough.
You can't deny that. I feel for that person.
Sure. Fair enough.
And you look at a Wilcor. So I think there are people that have legitimate reasons to be against it, but they're respectfully moving forward. Right. Now I want to talk about what we spoke with Mark Mojave, with Rob Esch this morning, what Alicia Dix has gone through, what Mark Mojave has gone through, and others.
Check my Twitter feed.
The intimidation that has been going on is horrible. Are you saying you're being attacked as well?
Well, I mean, attacked. Look, I'm a big boy. I put myself in this position. Someone like Alicia hasn't. Even Rob Esch has not put them. Mark Mojave have not put themselves in.
By the way,
position.
These are all people that have invested money.
Yeah,
at least Rob and Mark have invested money,
right?
And really are successfully moving downtown forward.
Right.
Alicia is working really hard and is really just a very nice person, very intelligent.
Alicia
has done incredible things.
Yeah,
and to be attacked this way,
she's an A+ human being.
Why are we allowing this downtown hospital group to do this? That's just crap as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But again, I chose to be in this public light, right? I actively put myself here. These people did, and they're private business people that want to just make a living, and they happen to have a strong feeling because of their investment in downtown to what they believe, and then it happens to be something else. But yeah, no, look, like I said, you check my Twitter feed.
All right.
I get cracked every couple of minutes about one decision I'm making, and it's unrelatable to the hospital, but somehow they make a strong connection to it. Look, the fact is, you either sit down like adults or business people and you hash out an issue, or you don't. And like you said, the majority of the people that are down there, they have legitimate complaints. They have, they don't know what's going on, and lack of knowledge always leads to fear. So you fear what the unknown is. But, the bullying and, I really wish that would come to an end.
All right. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much.
Joe Marino, councilman, soon to be mayoral candidate. Joe Marino, thank you. You want to announce anything here? You sure? Nothing?
I'm not Chris Salatino. I seen Chris, good friend of mine. Chris, I said, Chris, you let the cat right out of the bag.